Yo, what's up? What's up? It's your boy Jose Hustle every day. Mind over matter, mental tussle every day. Today it's a little different video, but it will also be a little bit of the same stuff. This video, I just want to let you guys know I'm gonna dedicate it to the veterans of our wonderful country and the purpose that they serve, the fight that they fight, various things that veterans face today, some numbers, some facts, and overall learn a thing or two about the people who decide to wear that title ever so proudly, because it's a heavy title for sure, not one to be taken lightly. To be a soldier, let alone a veteran, a soldier who decides to do it again. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about our veterans. I'm gonna close that door though. That shit is kind of creepy. I don't want some wild comment in the comments like, yo, look at the closet at 512, bro. I saw somebody in your closet. Like, oh, you did it. No, you ain't see shit, because it ain't even there. What's out of sight is in fact out of mind. Before we get into some facts about veterans, we should talk a little bit about what a veteran actually is. A veteran is someone who has served in the active military, naval, air, or space service and was discharged under conditions other than dishonorable. So it's not just a person who has gone out onto the battlefield and actually fought. It's actually just anybody who has served in any of the naval, air, space force services. And between all the branches, there are a lot of veterans. There's over 18 million veterans currently in the United States as we stand. Their ages span widely from as young as 18 to as old as over 100 years old. People do not stop aging. So yeah, we got some old veterans there. I believe there might have been a story about like a 105-year-old veteran that I saw when I was doing some research for this video. They've all fought in a range of conflicts from the world wars of yesterday to the current modern conflicts that we have going on globally. Now, whether it be then or now, the duty still remains the same for our veterans. The duty that not just our veterans but all of our soldiers face is that of making the decision of laying your lives down, not just for themselves but for others around them, friends, strangers even, with the very real possibility that they might not come back and make it to see the next day. And unfortunately, as is in war, there does tend to be death, and there do tend to be some unfortunate souls who don't make it back when they sail out into the great beyond of war in the name of many things, mostly peace, prosperity, and safety for the friends and families back home. Since the First World War, over 600,000 veterans have died honorably in service to their country, the United States. And that's just accounting for soldiers who have died while they were active in war. There are well over 1 million of our soldiers and veterans who have fallen when accounting various other factors such as physical and mental health issues, and we're definitely going to take a look at some of those right now, which include things like suicide risk. This is probably the biggest, if not one of the biggest issues for veterans. You have social isolation, depression, PTSD, live combat, so many different factors that go into the suicide rates, which is why veterans are more than 70% more likely to commit bodily harm to themselves than your average soldier or your average civilian. Now, in 2021, over 6,300 veterans did commit suicide, making 2021 the 20th consecutive year since 2001 that soldiers have committed suicide, with the numbers reaching over 6,000 suicides for that year. Those suicide risks are very much in part by the fact that our veterans suffer immense mental stress due to having been out on the field, in the war zone, watching friends die, or just being under the stress and pressure that is being a veteran, fighting for your country in foreign lands on foreign soil. Another huge issue for veterans is substance abuse. About 1 in 10 veterans suffer from substance abuse, with many choosing to drown themselves in alcohol or lose themselves to pills and other illicit drugs like meth, heroin, and cocaine, to name a few. Now this again is due to mental stress and financial issues that veterans may face day to day when they're back home. It's not easy to cope with, and some vets just don't get the help or support needed, and some of those vets that might have that support or help around them might just not realize that they actually need the help to begin with because of how riled up they are in their own heads. Physical health issues.
According to the U.S. Department of Labor in 2023, there were over 5 million veterans with service-connected disabilities.
Some veterans luckily come back without anything too physically severe, but some aren't as fortunate. You have some that are wounded and a few that might even come back missing a limb. Arthritis, hypertension, diabetes, cancer. These are some conditions posing threats to physical veteran health, either during or after service. You also have hearing loss due to consistent exposure to loud noises while in service, as well as traumatic brain injuries, which can very heavily affect your day-to-day motor body functions. Things as simple as being able to walk from your room to the kitchen, or being able to drive from your house to the grocery store become a challenge for our veterans who don't have support. And even things as extreme as biohazardous exposure. Our veterans back during the Vietnam War era were faced with such severity, such issues with the introduction of Agent Orange. Agent Orange was a chemical widely used by the US during the Vietnam War to destroy the natural vegetation that Vietnamese soldiers would use to conceal their forces, ambush US forces, and ultimately cause catastrophic losses on the US front. Agent Orange specifically increased the likelihood of many serious health conditions like several different cancers, neurological effects, birth defects, and even genetic damage. These biohazardous materials were so deadly that they would literally change your genetic infrastructure, affecting not just you, but future generations that you give birth to. Anything more than that and you might as well just go out fighting. Now, one more thing we have to know is homelessness. Now, this honestly breaks my heart personally. We have over 35,000 veterans in the United States currently that are homeless. From what I saw on my research, a lot of them were on the West Coast. The majority were in California. A lot of the homelessness is linked again to these same issues that we were just talking about. PTSD, depression, mental health, physical health issues. All of these things kind of tie hand in hand. And then you can't forget substance abuse, the use of drugs, alcohol, liquor, things like these to drown out the sadness, the pain, seeing these traumatic things unfold in front of you, watching friends die. And unfortunately, due to these issues, a lot of our veterans that come home fall victim to time. Over time, these things just get worse and they end up losing themselves. Adjusting back into civilian life is difficult for some when you spend the last couple of months to years at a time away in foreign lands, always having to be on alert for any potential dangers. And it can be harder for longtime veterans to get a job when they come back due to lack of civilian job skills. A lot of these veterans coming back, they don't know what life is outside of the Army. A lot of them might have joined young, and then when they come back, they might not even have skills to man a register or, just these simple tasks. I'm not saying they're not capable, of course, but I think it's a lot harder to be able to do those simple civilian tasks as a soldier because of the things that you've been through. They mold how you look at your day-to-day and how you think and how you go about your day-to-day, mentally and then physically extending by that. And it's so sad for me to think that the decision that these brave men and women have made to go fight for their country, ultimately, and in a terribly ironic twist of fate, is the reason why they've lost their homes and even themselves. Now, with all this in mind, to say thank you is the least that I could do for the veterans out there who risk life and limb. So I wanted to make this video in appreciation and in honor of all of our veterans. I want to thank each and every one of you who have done those things diligently, with courage and bravery, as well as fear in your heart, because it is a scary thing. You are risking your life doing this line of work, and it might not always be the most rewarding. You know, there are people out there who don't understand how lucky we are to have people that are willing to do such things. On this side of the world, from this individual, I do thank you, each and every one of you, for your conviction and your devotion to the safety of this country. Without you, we wouldn't be living as comfortably and luxuriously. Well, maybe not too luxurious. I'm still broke, right? Yeah, I'm still broke. But there are people around the world who don't even have access to the phone that I'm recording this on. They don't have access to their own room, to lights, electricity, things as basic as that. But we do here in the United States, in part by the bravery of our soldiers and our veterans who decide to take that pledge for this country. And with that, I would also like to remind the viewers, as well as myself, that we should also find something in our lives we're fighting for each and every day, like your dreams and your ambition, your visions and your future, your friends and your family, or simply just a better life. We should fight every day for those things that we hold dear, hold our heads proudly, and become something greater than we were yesterday for tomorrow. Life in and of itself, unbeknownst to many, or maybe known to all, is a war each and every day. And there are many battlefields that we cross. So just like our strong veterans, we need to stand tall and fight valiantly for what we care deeply about each and every day. Lead your way and lead your people, those you care about deeply, yourself, to greatness. And with that being said, guys, it's been me, Jose Hustle, every day. Mind over matter, mental tussle every day. Yeah. Reminding each and every one of you to shoot for the stars and aim for the moon, because no matter where you land, your fights will take you out of this world. The last thing I would like to say before I end this video is God bless our veterans, God bless the people, and God bless America. Thank you for watching, and until we meet again, soldiers.
My heart bleeding, never that was lost, so I made a map. Was cold in the winter, I lit the fire without the match. Was stuck in my head.